They didn't record it live, but the people on the side, they later said, you know, he came out here and everybody was like, who is this guy? What is this for, a movie?
Nobody was saying who is this guy to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what they were saying. Because
We're
if you
recording
see the
now.
cars for the
News from?
fighters, bro, I get everything from TikTok.
Yeah, that's why, and that's really why they need to ban it, because of stuff like that.
I think
It's true.
It's not true.
Listen, you can look it up.
Nobody at UFC is saying who is Jake Gyllenhaal.
The guys were saying that. It was like 3 or 4 people. They was like, yeah, man,
Who are
the
those
atmosphere
guys?
changed. Let me look it up.
so. Here's
Jesus
the thing.
Christ.
This is the thing with TikTok. You can literally get on.
These
TikTok.
are fighters.
Okay,
No,
listen.
the nigga made the movie
who's
Friday.
UFC?
I mean, Fighter.
Who's UFC? Is it Dana White or
Dana White.
Joe
I
Rogan?
know Dana White didn't do
Dana
that.
White.
Jake Gyllenhaal made Fighter.
Listen to me. Why would I lie about it?
It's not that you're lying.
Is
It's
that-
you
why-
got
why
false
I'm not
information.
wrong.
You got false information off of TikTok.
Listen, it was fighters that was right there, like beside the announcer's table, and when he did this stunt or whatever,
It wasn't a stunt. It was a movie.
it was a stunt for a movie, was it not?
It was a fight scene in the movie.
Okay, so when he came out and did it, it was completely unannounced. They didn't know that they was going to do
That's
it.
how they do
wanted,
those
They
things.
wanted people to think that it was real. So
Right.
when he came out, people are looking at the fight card and they're like, all right, so-and-so is supposed to fight them next. And here it is. Where's my guy that I've been waiting for? Where's the dude that I've been wanting to see?
And
He's
they was
not out
like,
here.
"Who's this guy?
Who is this guy?
Grammy-
What is he doing?"
Emmy
And then
Award
he
winning.
comes out and does this big fake super punch, and people like weren't excited. They had to like act like they're excited. And he was like, "Well, because we didn't get the response that we wanted, let's do it again." And people was like, "No, man, get the shit out of here. Bring on the next real fight. Nobody wants to see this."
Yeah, nobody wants to see
And
Jake
it's the guy
Gyllenhaal
right beside.
make one of the
Dana
highest.
It may have been John Jones. I'm gonna look it up.
The thing with TikTok is that you can literally be scrolling and have somebody say something about like, "Oh, this is the best trade of all time," and then the next thing is like, "Oh, this is the worst trade of all time." It's just
Or
many
or
different
it
opinions.
becomes an echo chamber because I'll look at something and then that's all I see and it's like, yeah, I'm not alone here. Like literally, clearly, everybody thinks the same way I do.
You spend too much time on one
And then you
video.
look at somebody else's phone, it's like it's the opposite. That's how it is. They just
Yeah.
cater to you.
All I get now is just straight up.
You can tell he's a clown. Let's to the side of
That's the first thing that pops up.
agony. All he does is watch cartoons all day.
I don't know. I'll
All
find it
you
later.
he sits at home and talks to his kid all day, and that's what he knows. He's like, you JoJo
Oh, you
Siwa?
start time already? All right. What are we going to talk about first? Actually, I want to ask you this. What got into Kendrick Lamar?
That dog.
It's like he just be sitting on stuff. It's like he be sitting there in a dungeon, just like hating on people, and then he just
Kung
come
Fu
out.
Kenny, man, that's what happens. Just kick
I
down
think
the
people send him things and it just like gas him up, or he'll just be watching a clip. Because I saw one clip when Drake was like, "Yeah, so Kendrick's nice and everything." You know, he had that Control verse that like started all this debate and all these like conversations. And thing was like, "But do you remember how that verse started?" Yeah, nobody cares about it anymore. And I feel like if Kendrick was just sitting around and somebody played that for him, he'd be like, "I'm gonna get that little light skin." Like that's how it was. It's like, why are you commenting on it? Why are you speaking negatively on it?
At first, I was thinking like, because Control was kind of like a shot to everybody who was a rapper, and him saying that I'm the best, and it's like kind of like a call to make everybody start rapping their best. You know, because sometimes you can get in the rhythm and just decide you want to put out music just to put out music, and that felt like Kendrick was like, "Hey, everybody, listen, we're called to do something better than this, so I'm gonna put my bars on the track, and I want y'all to come out and do the same thing." That's what it felt like. And so this time when he dropped it, I was like, "Oh, is this him doing that again?" But no, he was taking shots at Drake, and it felt personal. And they have history, right, with stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that, man, gets me excited. Like listening to the bars, I was like,
It's good for
man,
the sport.
It
It's
is
definitely
good for the sport. It's good for the goose. You know what they say about what's good for the goose?
It's good for the gander. It's good for the goose. Yeah.
He had that one bar. He said, Prince outlived Mike Jack. That spoke volumes to me, man. Because it's funny. I always thought, like, you know, J. Cole was Michael Jackson and Kendrick Lamar is Prince. It's like everybody likes him. And he makes great music, but he'll never get the recognition. And people always think that he's jealous. But it's like, really, he knows deep down inside that he's better. And that's what happened with Prince. Prince was just like, I'm going to keep making my music, man. You guys can like him, but I'm better.
Prince was a masterpiece. I mean, he created the music.
Low key, like Michael Jackson didn't even write most of his songs. Like, you can tell the songs that Michael Jackson wrote because it's all
wrote with
the
people.
Same thing. All of his hits were written by somebody else.
Whereas didn't Prince have like thousands of tracks, like music just sitting in the basement and never even released?
Prince has more hits than Michael Jackson that he didn't even perform. I mean, Prince has written more songs, produced more songs than Michael Jackson's written and performed easily. Not even counting his own catalog.
Sometimes you just have that. I don't know. Some people just are better with working with media than others.
He was a better performer.
So like the eyes are better on Michael Jackson than they are on Prince, because Prince is like, I don't want to.
And look at the family he grew up with. I mean, with Berry Gordy,
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, he just had Smokey Robinson. He just had people around him. His right hand person was what you call it? Not Tracy Ellis, but Diana Ross. He was just around with just so much talent, man. And if you ask him, his only competition was Stevie Wonder. Like, he just forgot about Prince. And then he did Prince dirty so many times, man. That one time when he came on stage. I
love that feud. Yeah.
Man.
Wait, tell me about what happened.
Did you hear the background story of it?
What happened?
What was it?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you hear the story and it's like, that's just a folk tale. But if you actually see it, when
you start adding up like
Chris
the
Brown,
different stories.
I mean, not Chris Brown, James Brown called him up on stage, and then like Michael Jackson was like, he went out there, he did his dance, he started singing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let's get Prince up here too." And Prince was like, "Oh, okay." And then
because Mike whispered to him, he came in.
He was like,
I remember, I saw the video.
He was like, "Yeah, everybody, Michael Jackson just told me to bring Prince out. Where Prince at?" And then Prince was like,
Prince came out there, took his shirt off, and started doing a thing. He took James Brown's guitar, started playing. He was like,
up there.
"Oh, what are you doing?"
Then he like tried to.
That was afterwards. He was dancing on the pole, and then the pole fell over.
He was sitting on the shoulders of his bodyguard, and his bodyguard was bringing him on stage, and he like grabbed the pole, and the pole like fell over. He said that he sabotaged it.
That is right. Because I remember when I first heard the story, I was like, y'all joking, because they made it sound like he was so short he had to sit on his, but he really was in the video. Like, his bodyguard really brought him up like that.
And all of us confirmed. This is different accounts.
It's a video. You can watch it.
Yeah, there's a video of it.
He fell over, and then like he finally got up there. Then afterwards, which is like the biggest part,
when he was driving home and he saw and Prince said, "Run that motherfucker over."
He was like, "Sir, that's Michael Jackson." I think, who was he with? He was with someone else.
It was a limo driver.
Michael was with like some other big name person.
Yeah. He was like, "Run him over."
Like, could you imagine Prince is popping up and like pointing like, there he is right there, run him over. Sure, that's Michael Jackson.
That confirms all the stories that Charlie Murphy used to tell about him.
Oh yeah. Have you ever looked at like a highlight of all the Prince's pettiness?
No, I haven't.
He's a funny dude, man. Because I remember Oprah was asking something, he just rolled his eyes. He was like, "Okay." I was like, "Wow."
Why does Prince sound like the musical version of Cat Williams?
He is. And even Cat Williams said that. He said he always looked up to Prince. Always.
I mean, you can see it in him.
They act alike. You can tell, like, Prince just thinks he's better than everybody else. Have you seen Cat Williams? Like, it's not just the interviews that he's done now, but Cat Williams just thinks that he's just better than everybody.
He talks like he's up here and you're down here.
I watched the Joe Rogan interview, and it was a good interview, but it's like, I listen to Joe Rogan every day. And I listen to how they have like this organic conversation, this back and forth. But with Cat Williams, it was like Cat did all the talking.
It was so hard to listen to.
At no point, and after I started listening, I was like, you know what? Joe can't get a word in, and it's like, it's never Joe. There was never a point where Joe said something and Cat was like, "Yeah, I agree," or "You're right."
It was like they couldn't have like a actual conversation, because the whole time Cat's just like, you say Joe, something like,
that is wrong, Joe.
Yeah, the entire time it's like, oh yeah, eventually we'll have like cars that can levitate. You can't have cars that levitate, Joe.
Yeah,
why,
it's impossible.
Why
I'm not going to say who did it, but and then Joe made one joke.
He'll say something like, they won't allow you to have cars that levitate, because as soon as you start levitating, then you can fly over everyone's heads, and they don't want you to fly over their heads.
And
What
Joe
does that
made
mean?
one joke. He was like,
say?
Joe said, man, Cat, maybe it's the weed. And Cat got offended. He was like, I don't know. Maybe it's the weed, but what do I know? Maybe it's the weed. Theo Von said, how do you have 5 pairs of swimming trunks and never went to the deep end of the water? he can't bring it up. That was so funny. Did you see that when he was like, I got that Christmas, I got that Christmas Cat Williams.
Theo Von is hilarious.
Like, let me see.
He is hilarious. Man. He's the funniest guy ever. I'm just fine. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny.
Every time I bring up Theo Von, he's like, he's not funny. And I'm like,
I've tried looking at the clips and stuff, like his funniest moments. I'm just like, I mean, I see how it could be funny, but I just don't.
Who do you find funny? Because I'm just, the only reason I asked is because like you seem to.
I find
hate
a lot of people
everything.
funny. No, a lot of people are funny. Maybe his humor is just like above me or below me or something. I just don't think it's funny.
It's weird because
the funniest thing that I heard
taste.
him say, when I think they brought out like a koala or something, and the guy is like, the handler's like, yeah, you know that they have like a bunch of germs and bacteria, and like they carry chlamydia most of the time. Make sure you wash your hands afterwards. And he's like, he may have to wash his hands after touching me. And I'm like, that's funny, but it's not like
That's the
slapping me
funniest
like
thing you heard him
hilarious.
say.
I think so, yeah.
Dang.
Like I listen to his whole thing and I just be like, he never laughs at his own stuff. It's just like he knows. He's funny,
I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling like he might be a little slow and doesn't even.
Nah.
I don't know if he's actually making all of the jokes. Like I know there's times he's definitely setting it up, but I don't know if all of them are set up. So he's just saying whatever comes to his head.
He is. He's because when I first saw him, I was like, he's really this funny. He doesn't know. Or is he just a genius? He's a genius, man.
Some people are like slow like that, and it's funny. Like Mike Epps is like that. Like
I know, but he's not. But he's not like that. But you're right. Mike Epps is like that. But Theo Von's he's smart because you can listen to his regular interviews and he's talking. It's like, oh, this guy knows some things. Like he knows his history.
Yeah, I know.
He knows politics. Like he knows he could have he was talking to Robert Kennedy in normal conversation. Like
have you heard Robert Kennedy's voice already?
He was making jokes about him. He was like, "Man, you sound like you done had one too many cigarettes." When he said, he was talking to the dude with Down syndrome. He was like, we can go out and we can have some, a couple bottles of scotch. He was like, I don't know, man. If I had me a couple bottles of scotch, I might get Down syndrome.
See, he says stuff funny. Like that makes you die laughing.
It's hilarious, man.
And he was talking to a guy who had Down syndrome when he said that too.
Yeah, because he asked me, he said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "Probably go out to a fancy restaurant and get some scotch." And he was like, "What? Some scotch?" He was like, "Man, if I get too much scotch, man, I might get Down syndrome."
That's the kind of stuff that makes him funny, though.
Yeah, he's hilarious,
and he knows his audience too.
He's hilarious. He does.
You got paint all on the bottom of your shoes.
I know. I stepped in it. I painted in there. I was painting this morning. Man, I feel so good about myself, man. I used a circular saw today. Our door broke, so it was like rotted wood and everything. So I took it up. No, at the house. So I took it up to I got the power drill and I unscrewed everything. Got to the job and then like I traced it out, sawed it, took it across. I should have had some pictures. And then I had to put all the nails back in the right way, and I painted it. I put like a color of yellow paint, like the acrylic paint. It's really nice. Real nice. I'm so proud of myself. I can't wait to put it up when I get home.
You feel like a man now.
I do. I had my shade. I had my goggles on, and I took my time. I could have easily just cut it, but I was like, and it was like the girls are coming in cleaning the bathrooms and stuff, and I was like,
Put your sleeves up a little bit.
He knows what he's doing, but little did he know. Going home to play Call of Duty and watch some X-Men. What's our topics for today? Is that us?
Mike and Jay.
Yeah. Have you seen the Quiet on Set stuff?
No.
I saw one clip with
just one.
What was the main one?
It's that TikTok.
Oh, it was like the dickhead kid or nose boy.
Oh yeah.
And like, I remember seeing the skit, but I didn't think anything about it. I'm like, it's a nose because he's wearing like really tight. He's wearing like
spandex kind of stuff.
Spandex, and then it's like a big nose, a black kid too, on his shoulder. But it's like you see the main part of the nose, which is like the large part, and then like the nostrils down here, and it looks like a penis. And he had it on both of those. Then he had like a prosthetic for a really big nose.
And it looks like a penis.
And I think he had like a thing on his head. I mean, it looked like a dick, pretty much.
Come on, Jimmy.
And he like sneezed on this one girl.
I mean, the nose guy.
And it was almost.
I've seen this.
It was like ejaculate. So
I seen this. What is this on? Like Hulu or something?
HBO Max.
Oh yeah. Is it a comedy or?
It's a documentary of.
It's a documentary
Dan
about
Schneider.
Everything that happened during Nickelodeon.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that. I seen a clip of it, and I thought that it was a skit. I thought it was like an old Nickelodeon skit, like all that.
They are, but it's just showing like the background behind.
No. I thought the whole thing was a skit. I thought it was like they were doing like a parody of a documentary.
Okay.
No,
because it was like Pickle Boy.
Because what we found out in there is that Brian Peck was one of the guys who was on set. He actually Pickle Boy. He was a pickle boy. They had a big platter of pickles,
right?
And he put the pickle through.
So I never seen that before.
He put the pickle through the glory hole, which is in the
Ray Romano.
Yeah. So look, Pickle Boy, the guy they call Pickle Boy, his name is Brian Peck. He used to work with Dan Schneider all the time. He actually went to prison years ago for sleeping with an underage kid. And he apparently didn't know that the kid was underage. Well, I mean, but you know who we found out during this documentary that it was Josh Drake. It was Drake from Drake and Josh.
You know what's crazy? His whole thing was like he was like, he was molested when he was younger.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is the whole thing about like hurt people. Drake Bell got in trouble a few years ago for sleeping with underage girls and doing that stuff. But he was molested when he was younger.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you got to watch the thing.
And he this is what Rhea was talking about. He sneezed and it was like it looked like a bunch of like somebody nutted on the girl's face when she was cleaning off.
Man, you should have said ejaculate.
Yeah, as soon as it came
you do that a lot.
I was
though.
like, "Where's it gonna go?
I mean,
Is it gonna say
I
come?"
just talked
you do that a lot.
I talked.
You'd be like, yeah, man. She said, you can suck my cock. And I'm like, no, that's the worst word. No, just say penis.
I think Amanda.
Oh, that's Jared. Oh, that kid grew up to be Jared Carmichael. it ruins people. I mean, it really does.
That's a good one. No, yeah, Amanda Bynes.
Yeah. JoJo Siwa.
Maybe that's why Nick Cannon became so nat. Oh my God.
What?
Orlando Brown.
Oh my God, Orlando Brown.
He was saying all that stuff. Yeah.
Years ago.
He said this stuff. It's always like that, man.
No, you think it's true and stuff?
It's
No.
They try to make him be crazy so that you don't listen.
He's crazy. I think he
Look
said
at
like
Alex
Will
Jones.
Smith raped him or something.
Look at Alex Jones.
Yo, listen though, Cat Williams. As soon as the year started, what did he say? He's like, there's some weird stuff that's going on, that's been going on in Hollywood, and it's all going to come out 2024.
He said it, man. Look at Meek Mill.
What? I still don't know this. What happened with Meek Mill?
P. Diddy was raping him. Oh. And he's like, yeah, man.
Carl, say something.
And it's not like when he was like 12 years old. Like this was last year.
Diddy got a couple people.
Didn't Meek Mill say something like I didn't have nothing to do with that?
And he dropped the album the next day. That was crazy. Like, and he was talking about it on the album. Like, how do you even? He must have had that ready, man. Him and Kendrick Lamar.
I gotta watch this now because it said Amanda Bynes got pregnant and had like an abortion
at 13.
Oh my god!
And then they did like a skit or something laughing about it. Oh, the Penelope Taint thing.
Yeah.
And they
pause that real quick.
He said, because like you have to pass it through. What you have to like go through a chain or whatever whenever you want to get something cleared. And Dan Schneider had like been talking to the other writers. He's like, all right, guys, so taint, you already know it. What's the actual thing? It taint your balls and it taint your butthole. So it's called the taint with like the gooch.
The taint is between.
What's the actual term for it?
What's
the?
I think it's
fancy
taint or gooch. One of them.
No. It's like a gondola or something. It's something weird.
Gondola sounds like an instrument or something.
I can't remember the technical.
Remember that old joke where it's like, what do you call the thing between the dick and the asshole? And then the girl was like, the coffee table.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah. So he knew what it was meant for.
Yeah.
And he told the other writers like, "All right, guys, just keep it on the hush. You know, the children don't know anything about it, so don't mention it. We're gonna spell it differently." So when they asked him about it, like when he sent it up to the people who do like the censorship or whatever, he's like, "Yeah, of course, it has nothing to do with that. It's innocent or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like later on, people came out and they said, yeah, that's exactly what it meant for.
There's-
And you see that in Disney and stuff too. Like,
Yeah, so for so long we've been talking about like Disney and how like Disney kids always grow up and like go left or whatever. There's something else I heard. I don't know how true this one is, but Amanda Taint, I think her name, or whatever the girl is that was always like Amanda's number one fan.
oh yeah,
and she would play her too, but she always had this website called AmandaPlease.com because she was always be like every time she like knock on somebody's door and they like, who are you here for? It's like, Amanda, please. Remember she would do that. Apparently that's supposed to be like when she say like AmandaPlease.com, it's like Aman2Please.com. Which is another innuendo that kind of like he would slide in there. I don't know how true that one is, but I did hear that one too. But the whole point is like Dan was doing a lot of different weird stuff like that.
Now was Dan Schneider the one that did the
Holocaust.
No, not the Holocaust.
What?
You think about Oppenheimer?
No.
Did he do the Justice League movie? Because if that's the case, I'm not canceling
Wait,
him.
is that
I
him?
don't know.
He is his brother.
That's not the same person.
Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Okay.
Because Joe Rogan just interviewed him too, and it's like, man, he's
I
interviewing
don't
people.
believe anything Joe Rogan says anymore.
I know, and we'll talk about that. But Joe Rogan interviewed that one dude who was like the convicted murderer, and then he had
Sheldon Jones.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, Sheldon Jones. Isn't that crazy?
I listened to that whole thing and I was like, man, good for that brother. Man, he turned his life around.
Like
you
a
know,
week
this nigga
later.
chopped somebody up the next day.
No.
in the hotel, like the hotel that he put him in, he chopped him up. They got him on footage like carrying out a foot. It was like a cartoon. The foot hanging out of the bag.
They got this man pictures of this man walking in and out of the apartment. Every time he came out of the apartment, he had a different disguise on.
And
at one point, he had on a blonde wig. It's like,
and the bags were so tight, like you could see the nose and everything.
Okay,
he chopped somebody up in his
so
hotel.
this guy was wrongly convicted of murder.
No,
and
he
served
wasn't
like
wrong.
25
He
years.
wasn't wrongly convicted.
Yeah, he admitted to it.
Okay, so he killed someone, served like 25 years in prison, finally gets out.
No, wait. Was he not wrongly convicted?
I thought he was wrongly convicted.
He got off, didn't he?
No, I think he served the years because he was young. I think when it happened.
He was real young.
So he served all this time.
No, I know what happened. It wasn't that it was murder. It was his third strike.
It was murder. It was like I think he got
a homeless dude
charged
tried
with
to rape him or
attempted
something.
murder. No, he was selling drugs and went to go get somebody. Like he was going after somebody. I think that chipped him for his money or something like that. But I think he served for attempted murder. I think it was.
Okay.
Anyway,
he
short,
shouldn't have been in prison for that long. It was because it was his third strike, and that's what he was trying to get change the law for that.
When he got out though, like he was doing all
Yeah,
these
he
programs,
helping the
and everything
community and
else.
everything.
I remember he was like
helping young boys, find out.
is it recidivism?
Yeah,
What
I
does
think
that mean
he
again?
kept saying.
Okay.
that.
All right. So he gets out of prison after all this time, and you telling me this man got out next day and chopped somebody up?
Chop somebody up. And he must have done it before the interview. Because he was getting the body parts out the room. He was still in the same hotel. They was talking about the hotel he was in. He was in the same hotel taking the body parts out.
And this just happened.
It was the guy's apartment. It wasn't a hotel. It was his apartment. So the dude that he killed was in prison with him, and they kind of like talked out when the guy got out or something. I think they were doing some dealings with each other to try to like do the whole like get your life back on track kind of stuff or whatever. But I think maybe he was trying to run a front with the dude, and I think the dude was trying to go clean or whatever. And and the neighbor said that one day they heard a loud pop, and they heard somebody say, "Please, man, I got kids," and that was like a day before the police came out there and stuff.
Crazy.
But
the
yeah,
guy came out one of those like what's his name? Jean Levy with the little nose and the mustache and the glasses. His disguises.
so stupid.
Yeah.
He kept just changing his clothes and wearing disguise. It was like, I don't know who.
What was the purpose of that? For the cameras, so it makes it look like it's not him bringing different body parts.
Maybe he thought he was smarter than he was.
That's how they used to do it. I mean, you gotta remember he was locked up for 25 years, so he probably thought it was still like you can get away with stuff like that. Man, I text my mom. I said, "Mommy, have you ever heard of Freaknik?" Because we was all joking. And the guys, it was like, "Oh yeah, man, how old's your mom?" I said, "Man, my mom don't know nothing about stuff like that." She texted me back, "Yeah," with a sad face. And I was like,
Anybody in this area, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia.
I know. I'm
And if
afraid
your
to watch it
mom,
now.
what we should do like a chart, because what's the age group? Your mom would have to be in like 20 to 30s during
at the time, yeah.
what was this, like 95 when it was really big?
Yeah. So that means our parents will have to be between the age of 50 and 60, right? Or I guess it would be 50 and 60 would be the
45
prime.
to 60.
I was going to say 45 to 60.
Yeah, 45
that
to
15
60.
year.
Yep.
I already know my
possibly
daddy.
a freak.
My daddy went. I used to watch.
Your daddy?
Yeah, they
Oh yeah,
recorded
that
it.
does make sense. Yeah.
They used to record.
I
it on
know
the
that nigga
tape.
was out there nasty with the little camera.
Nasty.
Listen, I was a nasty little boy, so I wanted to see what was on the tape. So I would go watch the tapes.
Oh, you've seen
They
it?
didn't even have much of anything on the tapes, but then again, they probably hid the rest of
Probably
the stuff.
deleted all the stuff that could indict him later.
But that's
Your
what I'm saying.
dad? Ain't no
I
telling
mean-
how many brothers you got.
They had like a little camcorder, and so every time you was like, he would press record, it's just like people's feet, cars, girls on cars, dudes doing.
So your
stuff.
dad has footage of Freaknik.
I don't know if he still does, but he did when
He
I was
probably
like
doesn't
in
now,
high school.
Shit, they was buying that footage.
Mm-hmm. When stuff
Could've
like
sold
that
it.
comes out,
They was buying that footage.
They had like shots of them like hanging out in the hotel and stuff, but it wasn't anything crazy.
Do you think that if it was around during our time, we would have went? We probably would have.
I probably wouldn't. I mean, a while ago, yeah, but
There was
not
never
now.
a time.
like this day and age, if it was a current freaknik.
Like, but we would have to be younger though. I mean, I wouldn't dream of going now.
Yeah, I mean, like remember we were talking about going to Mardi Gras when we was like 20.
Yeah, we was
21.
20. I wouldn't go now. I'm a
That's what I'm
germaphobe.
saying.
I wouldn't even.
Everything's changed now. You can't even get in those large gatherings without worrying about.
Well, that's why they shut it
Craziness.
down now. I mean, people were getting kidnapped and stuff. And
Yeah, we got
Also-
that huge sex trafficking ring here in Charlotte, and I mean, just when it's a lot of us around each other in the first place.
think of all the
it
stuff
gets
they shut
crazy.
down. There's no more Black Back Week.
Oh yeah, I forgot
No more
about that.
Murder
CIAA.
Beach. Oh, they did take away CIAA. I forgot about that.
It's not coming.
It was like a deal where they went up to Maryland
It's
for
in
a couple
Florida.
years.
No, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
That's Maryland.
I forgot about that.
Shut up.
Dang, we had CIAA. What else they shut down?
So many things, man. There's
The-
always
the
shooting
WB.
everywhere.
The CW. Shut that down. We can't never get no large gatherings.
The CW. The network?
Yeah,
UPN.
you people network.
Yeah. Can't have nothing.
Is VET still his name?
Yeah, Kevin Hart's bringing it back. Carrying.
I think
But
Tyler Perry did.
doesn't a
Someone
white
bought
person
that,
own
right?
BET?
The rights to
Yeah.
it.
Now it is. No, it's a black lady. It's a black lady.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Bob Johnson had it for a while, and then he sold it to that weird black
I
lady.
feel like Tyler Perry owns it.
He had his own
He
thing.
probably got a stake in it.
It's gonna be one of these documentaries. Quiet on Set. It's gonna be one for Tyler Perry.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be one. It's gonna get
That
exposed.
Atlanta episode.
And that came from somewhere.
yeah.
All
Also,
that stuff has some type of influence to it. People are
anytime
like,
anybody says anything about Tyler Perry, you always hear about them getting pressed one way or the other, or getting blacklisted or something.
Every time.
He don't like people putting his name in their mouth.
Yep.
I mean, we might get in trouble for saying it right.
What did he throw some grits on him?
that shit, he was like, I'm okay. Atlanta was such a good show.
Gambino's funny because it's like sometimes he's funny, sometimes he makes good music, sometimes he seems really smart, sometimes he acts really good. That last project he did, terrible.
Swarm?
Which one?
Oh, was that him?
Wait, was that Swarm?
Oh, you
Swarm
talking about
this?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh,
That was-
yeah.
You just
Yeah,
went,
you thought that was good?
you went into it looking
It
for
was
a Brad and
different.
Angelina movie. That's what it was. Think about what they went through in the show. Like if it wasn't called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it
So
was-
if I had never seen the Brand Angelina one, you think I
If-
would have liked it?
if you've never seen it and it wasn't called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you probably would have liked it. Because it's just Atlanta except with super agents.
No, it's not.
I mean,
No, that's
agents.
not a good take. You think it's like Atlanta?
I mean the way the written style. I mean, it's written by the same people.
I know, but it was a lot of dialogue. That was my biggest. That was
Yeah,
the
and
hardest
I
thing for
like
me.
dialogue, but it has to be good dialogue. That dialogue was
The
Some of
dialogue-
it was good. It was just like it's giving you too much information.
Yeah, I
into
mean,
every single
it was like
episode.
Gambino was being himself. Like he was just very like weird. Like he seemed like a weird dude. Like
That's
trying to be
what he
cool.
was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a mama's boy who couldn't relinquish his past and get to this place that she wanted him to be. And he's like, you're wanting me to be a robot like you, but I'm a human being and I love my mom. You don't love your dad and you're a robot. I'm not going to be who you are. And she's mad at him because he's not that. And he's mad at her because she's forcing him to try to be something else.
The way
That was
he
a good scene.
Like that argument when they
That
had
was
in
really
the
good.
woods.
Yeah, that was really
That was a
emotional.
really good scene because everything built up to that moment. Like when he was yelling at her, it felt real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the show is about. That's why I say it was really good. It's just you were looking for something else.
Are you planning on watching it?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay. What do you think happened at
Anticlimactic.
the end? Spoiler alert. Spoiler
I don't think I
alert.
watched the last
the
5.
third episode.
Oh, dang.
Dang, watch. I'm gonna
I
spoil
think.
it.
What do you think was the best episode?
But
It's the
y'all go ahead and do it.
therapist one.
'Cause I don't think.
Yeah,
it's
that
The
therapist
therapist one
episode.
was probably the best episode.
when
When they burned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was like, where? Around here? Here? Okay. And then I was
was
like, where are
funny.
they going with that? And then
That
like a
was
couple
funny.
seconds later, I was like, oh, they did not. That was a really good episode. And
Yeah.
I want to say it was the one either before it or after.
The one when they was looking for the new house, or when he had bought the house.
With Ron Perlman.
Yeah,
oh yeah, Ron
Is
Perlman
this
was
in
really
here
good. In
further
there.
away or something?
No, it's just so far away. Ron Perlman was really good in there, right?
I like that.
He
I thought
was like a
in-
big baby.
Yeah. He just wanted a cigarette,
Yeah.
and he promised him the cigarette, and he did
I was
everything he
gonna say,
said.
yeah.
That
And
was
he did-
hilarious.
And then he did give him the
And
cigarette,
then-
and then he smoked the cigarette.
Yeah.
See, it was a good show.
Nah,
It was. I'm trying to
I
think
didn't
because
say
there
it
was
was-
something else I really didn't like.
I'm saying this garbage.
What was your favorite episode?
Oh, you know, it was another good one too.
No, I don't like the TV show. Series.
You
Oh,
just
so-
like the movie.
I'm just on the third episode, so I haven't really finished it.
It starts out really slow because it's like you have to go over every little thing, all the details while they're there, the talking, answering questions, responding to emails and calls.
What?
And, what?
What are you talking about?
talking about the same
Responding to emails.
What are you
Yeah,
talking
because Hi was like sending
Oh,
the email, and
oh,
then it's like you have to wait for them to text back, and then it's like this. Oh, that was another really good one too.
You about when he met the neighbor?
That was a good reveal because at first I'm like, he's in on something, but then it's like
Yeah.
you find out.
Yeah.
But
You know who that guy was? It was the Riddler.
Yeah. I knew his face from somewhere.
Yeah,
Which Riddler?
The new
the
one.
new
right?
Riddler. Like when they had
I know
that,
him from other stuff too.
From the CW?
no, from the
Joker.
Batman. The Batman.
Wait,
Wait,
which
I
one? You
gotta
talking
see.
about
The
Ruby
Batman.
Rose?
No,
It's so many different ones because
I know, I know.
What was the other one with?
But there was
the
only
kid
one
from
Riddler.
Shameless, the redhead.
Yeah, that's the one that was in the Joker, right?
He
No, he
the
was a Joker. That was
So
Arkham.
was he the Riddler? In
I mean, that-
Arkham.
It
I'm
wasn't
sorry. Yeah, you're right. The Batman. I'm getting my movies mixed up.
with Edward with Robert Pattinson. The last Batman.
Okay,
Batman.
so that's the Riddler.
The
from-
Riddler's only been portrayed twice on TV, right?
I know Jim Carrey.
That was it. Jim Carrey and then this guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, it was him. That guy right there. But he was also on
You
something
know
else.
him
I know
as
him
the
from
Riddler?
Yeah.
That's who he. What do you know him for?
From was it Spy Kids or something?
No, he was like a killer, like Dahmer or
Oh,
somebody.
yeah.
Or somebody.
Wait, I gotta look this up now.
He was like a psychopath. He played some type of killer.
I didn't know that.
There's something else I know him from.
What-
though,
what is
besides-
it?
I just
You
remember.
gotta
I just
look it
remember
up.
the monologue he had as the Riddler. It was like really good. I was like, "Who is this guy? He can act." When he was talking to Batman, it was like,
This
I
dude
can
right
see.
here.
Yeah,
Was it that movie with Hugh Jackman and
Silver.
where they was looking for the kids?
Hugh Jackman.
You mean Jackman Hughes?
Oh,
Jackman and Hugh.
Yeah,
Who's that?
the British guy.
Is it Jackman Hugh?
Yeah, it's Jackman Hughes.
I don't think it is.
It is.
it's Hugh Jackman. What are you talking about?
Before Hugh
Prisoners.
Jack,
Prisoner.
before Hugh
Prisoners.
Jackman, it was Jackman Hughes.
Who is Jackman Hugh?
He's the English guy.
No, it's, you talking
Don't
about the
know
Greatest
who that
Showman?
No,
Wolverine.
he's thinking about
Hugo
Hugh.
Weaving?
Hugh something. He was in like
Hugh
You've
Laurie?
Got Mail. Not Hugh Laurie. That's House, right?
Yeah.
That's Hugo Weaving.
You're thinking about it.
Just
the other
just
guy.
Google him, Hugh
You
Jackman.
talking about Hugo Boss?
Hugh Jackman just popped up, I think. Paul Rubin was in there?
No, that's Wolverine. Reverse the names, Jackman Hugh.
I don't know why you're looking this up. It's not a person. You're thinking about the other Hugh.
Doesn't
guy.
exist.
That's Hugh Jackman.
So who's Jackman Hugh? You're just mixing up the names.
No, I'm not.
It's like
Jackman Hugh he plays in movies. He's an English guy. He plays in movies.
He's making this up.
Yeah,
Okay, type in famous Hughes.
We don't have time for this.
Hugh Grant is who you're thinking about, and he was in like You've Got Mail or.
Let me see his face. Let me see his face.
It ain't even Hugh Grant. There it is.
Go to Hugh Grant.
He was in one of them rom-coms.
That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about.
Jackman Hugh.
I thought did he not play in House?
That's Hugh
Oh
Laurie.
my gosh. He getting all his Hughes mixed up.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
What were we even talking about now?
I don't even remember.
We were talking about House.
No, we
We
weren't.
was talking about.
Could have been House.
We was talking about Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh yeah. I think we're done.
When
with
she
that.
finally opened up the email after like, because you know you get 3 strikes. Are you gonna watch it?
Oh
or what?
yeah. He's
Go
not.
ahead,
He said he
spoil it.
don't
I'm
like
not
the show.
watching.
You're not gonna watch it.
No.
When she opened up the
Well, if
email,
Will
because it
Smith
was
was in
like
the third episode, he would have kept watching.
it was like the up tempo music and everything. Everything's going good. They're smiling. She's making coffee. Then she opens up her email and it's like, "Kill your John." And she was like, "Oh," what was it? And then like they just started shooting and the cat died. And then I hate when it's like a misunderstanding.
I know.
that plays the biggest part.
That was annoying.
That was another
to me.
really corny thing.
That
the
was
truth serum.
annoying.
I hated that. I thought that was super corny. Because why do it to yourself? First of all, if he just did it to her, I guess it worked out. But it's like
Because he's a dummy. He's kind of not that smart. in the
He's not
show.
athletic. Like I hate all the scenes where he was running.
Oh,
fighting.
me
It was
and
like,
Elon were dying.
Okay,
laughing.
so it's
the
not
one
just me.
scene when he
Okay,
ran
good.
away and his feet was like his legs were going sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
the very first bomb. That's when it really picked up. Because it's like, God, this show is slow. Like, when's it gonna pick up? Then it's like they delivered the cake,
and he
and
runs like
she's
this.
like,
It's like
He's not athletic at all.
Not at all, man. It bothered me. The fight scenes was so slow. The choreo, it's like it was like somebody who reads like the cat went down the street. That's how his fighting was. It was just so slowly.
I agree with that because he's just never been athletic at all. So it just doesn't come off natural. She did a great job.
I've always said this about Donald Glover. He's just good enough at everything that makes him great. Like he's not hilarious.
To be
but
fair, he's a
just funny.
jack of all trades.
Hugh Jackman.
he is, and I love that. Before I would be telling people about him, and they're like, "Who is this guy?"
There we go.
And I'm like, "Just wait on it. Like he's gonna do something really."
I
Good.
told
No, don't, you can't say that. I said that first.
I mean, I got it from you, and I was telling other people.
But you
I
remember,
thought you were gonna let him get away with it.
even in his song, he said, give him 6 months and then tell him to say I told you so, whatever. And I literally sent y'all the lyrics and was like, listen, in 6 months, everybody's gonna know about him, and now everybody knows about him.
Yeah. When This Is America dropped, because I was telling people at a couple other jobs, I'm like, yeah, you know, I really like Childish Gambino. They're like, who is he? I'm like, he's gonna do something really big one day. And then like he did This Is America, and I mean he was in a bunch of different. Redbone was on like with Us and
Redbone was
Out.
great.
I think
great.
that was his time where he really blew up. Is during This Is America, Redbone, and Atlanta all at the same time.
Yeah.
Just made him skyrocket because after that is when he
People
got
started
on.
looking back to 2005.
He was on
Star
because of the
Wars.
He got on
internet.
Star Wars.
Oh my God.
He was gonna do the Deadpool animated show. Now he got.
Then they was talking about
Spider-Man.
him being Miles
Oh
Morales.
yeah, dude, the whole Spider-Man verse with him
Oh, he's in
is
there. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
they really redeemed themselves
that's
with that, right?
dope, right?
Yeah, I
'Cause-
like it.
let's explain it really quick just for the podcast. So like Donald Glover years ago, like 2007 or something like that, was trying to
It was
campaign.
literally 2007.
Was trying to campaign to be the new Spider-Man. He wanted to be the Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales, who we know now. He never got it, but then they made the Amazing Spider-Man, and then there's more to it that I can't remember. But he will always have like hashtag Donald for Spider-Man. Even in his songs, he would say Donald for Spider-Man. People online were saying Donald for Spider-Man. And then next thing you know, he gets bigger. Spider-Man gets bigger, and then we have the new Spider-Man, who is Tom Holland. And then first before that, they finally made Miles Morales Spider-Man. which is the new animated Spider-Man we see now. But before that, they did a cartoon where Donald Glover voiced Miles Morales. And then they did the animated movie with Miles Morales movie. And then his uncle in there, his name, I can't remember his name, but his name is the same name as the character who was in which Spider-Man was it? Was it something Homecoming or something?
I think it was Far From Home. That's the one with
What do you mean?
We
His
should
uncle
just have this stuff
was
ready.
what?
So in this Into the Spider-Verse, his uncle, the character who was Miles Morales' uncle, I can't remember his name. He has the same name as the character Donald Glover played in the Homecoming movie or Far From Home, whichever one that was.
He played his uncle. He's
In
the
the-
Prowler.
In the movie?
Yeah, he was his uncle.
I didn't know that.
Wait,
Yeah.
who are you talking about? Donald
Donald
Glover?
Glover is the Prowler in the Spider-Man universe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The animated one.
Have you seen? No, in the real movie, he was a Prowler.
I thought he was just
There was
like
a
bringing
reference. He said
groceries home.
he was like, my nephew is. I don't want my nephew.
That's what
to
I'm
get
talking about.
He's the Prowler.
Yeah, that's
was
what I'm
referencing
saying.
Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, so in the movie, the Prowler in
Aaron
the
Davis.
movie in the
it's all
car.
the same character.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying it's the same person.
Yeah, literally.
But the
Same person.
cameo that he played when he's like
Was
in the
the-
parking
he's
deck,
the same character. He's the Prowler.
Donald Glover himself.
Yes, his character was Miles Morales' uncle.
He just wasn't the Prowler in the movie.
He was, but
The
it
Prowler
was
never showed up in the
because
live action.
he
That's
was
what I'm
never in the
saying.
movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, we're saying the same thing.
I don't think you guys are. In the movie from what I remember,
The first movie was
Aaron Davis is his name.
right.
From what I remember,
the
he was
first movie
going
was
home.
Home Alone.
Shut up. From what I remember, he was like going home and he stopped in a parking deck and like, what was the reason why he was? I remember
He
he
was
had
like
groceries.
Because
Locked out
he was
of his
looking, he was
car or
trying to get into the
something.
mind of a criminal, and he knew that he knew the Sinister Six because did jail time with them. He had did jail time with the Vulture, and
Okay.
he was like, "I don't want you to get caught up with the Sinister Six," because I believe the Prowler was one of the original Sinister Six. So he had asked him. He said, "Do you know where these guys are going to be?" He was like, "Listen, man, they did the talking." He was like, "By the way, you're not really good at your job. You're not good at this." He was like, "I'm just a kid trying to, be a hero." He was like, "You remind me a lot of my nephew."
Yeah.
He was talking about Miles. He was like, you
Yeah.
remind me of my nephew." But that's who he was.
Right.
But it doesn't go into detail about it. But he kept the character in the universe because in the animated series, he didn't voice the Prowler.
That's what I was saying. He didn't voice him.
No, but the
So-
real Prowler, like when they caught him, they caught all the Prowlers. Like he was in the bars, like actual Donald Glover.
Okay.
But that was full circle though.
Yeah, and I think they really redeemed themselves.
Yeah.
And if they ever do, like they'll do 3 Spider-Mans or 4 Spider-Mans, and then if they ever move on to Miles Morales, then I think that Donald
might.
Glover will reprise the role.
Yeah.
They're normally good for keeping the same characters,
They try to.
but with the multiverse thing, they can switch it up a lot.
So if he's Miles Morales' uncle, that means Uncle Ben's his brother?
Miles
No.
Morales and
This
and
is
Peter
his
Parker,
dad's
two different.
brother. This is dad's brother. Yeah, because his dad was a cop.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 2 different storylines for Miles and Peter.
I didn't know. I don't know. I just didn't know. I thought it was Uncle Ben. I thought they had the same story.
That's what I think about Uncle Benjamin from Game of Thrones.
I remember the first time I seen
It was actually Uncle Ben from the Rice.
the first time I seen that movie. I remember I got chills, man.
Which one?
The last Spider-Man.
Oh,
Like
I get
literally-
them mixed up. So the last one was a really good one with Tobey
Homecoming
Maguire.
was part 1. Far From Home was
That's
part
with Jake
2.
Gyllenhaal, right?
yeah.
That
no,
guy.
the Far From Home was Jake
Far From
Gyllenhaal.
Home was Jake Gyllenhaal, because
Which I think that was the worst of the 3.
no,
Wait,
because
so
that
Tom
one they
Holland's
brought
done
full
3.
circle too.
Tom Holland's done 3, right?
Yeah.
The second one was Jake Gyllenhaal. The third one was Tobey Maguire and the rest of them.
What was the third one?
The third one was Tobey
The third one
Maguire.
was when they brought everybody
What was the
back.
name of it?
Doc Ock.
I
I thought it was
can't
No
remember.
Way Home.
No Way Home. I might have been that.
Far From Home.
They're all
No Way
horror
Home.
homes.
and-
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then the fourth one's Home Alone.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
The third one was the best one. I like that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
because they
remember.
brought
I
all
remember
three
going to see that, and I was thinking like, this
Okay,
is
the
everything
third
that
one
people were
was No Way
saying.
Home. It had Goblin, Sandman,
Dude,
Doctor Strange.
Goblin
Everybody was
putting
in
a
there.
pause on him. In
So
that,
what's the
Yeah.
second one? No Way Home?
Far From Home. That's when he was in
Far From
space.
No, that's when he was
Avengers.
fighting.
That's
Gyllenhaal.
before he went to space. But that's why they named it that, because that was when he got
No
caught in
Way
space.
Home was 2.
Right.
So what's the first one?
Far From Home is 2.
Homecoming, Far From Home.
Homecoming.
No
That's what
Way
I'm
Home.
forgetting. And Homecoming was the one when he was in like Europe or whatever.
Yes. That's
But
when
who
he
was the
Spider-Man.
villain or whatever in there?
The Elementals. Wait, no, the first
No,
one.
listen. Homecoming was the first one. That's when they went to Washington D.C. and everything. He was trying to hide his identity from his friends.
Yep.
Far From Home was when they went to Prague. I think they were in Greece, and that's when he finally admitted to MJ who he was, and that's when he fought Jake Gyllenhaal. And then the third one, No Way Home, is when the other Spider-Mans came in and he wanted to wipe his identity from everyone. Because remember, at the end of the second movie, who was it that plastered his name everywhere?
Mysterio?
No, it was
was it
Jonah
JJ?
Jameson.
Yeah.
He
And
said,
then-
he said, I got these cool pictures of Spider-Man. He said, fuck Spider-Man. He said, but I am Spider-Man. He said, well go fuck yourself.
But he put his name like the true identity of Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and he put his face on everything.
I remember that.
And
Here's a fun fact.
Go ahead.
He's also the voice for, not Homelander, but
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
Isn't he the same?
And the yellow M&M.
Peter. He's the same JJ in the original Spider-Man too,
Yeah.
right?
They brought it full circle, man.
Sony is just doing good with that.
I love it.
But then again-
don't say Sony. Because we can talk about Madam Web.
Dang.
Did you see it yet?
I'm
I
not
thought it
gonna
was
see
fake.
I've never heard someone bash a movie that much. And
Oh
I've
my
watched
God.
some bad
Dude,
movies.
you know it has to be bad when a freaking Straw Hat Goofy has bad things to say about it. And he tries his best to say the best thing about every
Exactly.
movie possible.
I didn't hear anyone say anything good about it. Even Dakota Johnson was like, she didn't understand why it was a superhero movie, but they never wore their costumes.
She went through like the press and everything and was saying like
They were confused.
she was saying like they were asking her a question. She was just basically like, listen, y'all, I don't really
I
care
don't
about
know
this
anything
movie.
about this.
This movie is not that good. I just want
You know why they're making movies like that, right? They same thing with Morbius. They're trying to eat off of the Marvel universe.
Was it
It's not
Morbius or
working,
Mobius?
Morbius.
That was a really bad movie
It
too.
was.
So Morbius was bad, but apparently they're saying like Morbius was like Oppenheimer compared to Madam Web.
Really?
And Morbius wasn't like Madam Web seems hard to watch. Morbius, you can watch it. It's like it's nothing compared.
Man, if Madam Web is that bad, Morbius was hard for me to watch. So
Yeah.
if Madam Web is worse, then I don't even know if I can watch it.
And the thing with Morbius is they tried to tie in like at the end they brought in the Vulture, and it's like, why?
Sloppy.
That just cut off the next Spider-Man was supposed to be about the Sinister Six. So now it's like you just brought him over there, and Venom is supposed to be a part of it.
So it's weird because
Venom is one that they're doing good.
Yeah, Venom and Spider-Man is where they're doing good, and they finally found a way to cross him over in that last Venom movie, and the last
Yeah,
Venom
they crossed
movie.
him over.
And then they come out with Morbius and Madam Web, which are bombs.
Which makes sense to come out with those. But the way that they did it, it's like they didn't get anyone from Marvel to do it. It was all Sony.
Well, didn't they say that they're not planning on making any more Madam Web or even tying it in at all?
Well, this is all in hindsight now. But
Oh,
like
I thought that was-
retrospect,
I
that's
thought
what I'm
that
saying.
was-
Like in retrospect, it makes sense to make those movies because it's like now Marvel doesn't have to waste the studio time to do it. Now Sony can do it, and they can start making movies too. But they're supposed to do Fantastic Four, not happening.
Man, I have yet to
Did they
see a good
cancel it?
Fantastic
No,
Four.
no. Marvel Studios is gonna do it. Marvel Studios is doing all those big movies now.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, because they can't
I don't even
do
know
the
if they-
Kang. They can't do the Kang Dynasty anymore.
I don't have faith in
Well,
Secret
they
Wars
can.
anymore. Oh, go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
What?
I think they're gonna what's your boy name?
Plot twist: Johnny Depp's gonna do it.
That'll be terrible.
That would be crazy.
But
What's
Disney,
his name? Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
So they were saying that
Here comes
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I ain't
ahead.
gotta get into it.
you guys aren't even long enough.
No, but they're like they messed up when they showed all the different Kangs at the end of was it Loki?
I don't understand why they did that anyways.
because now they limited themselves where they can't really recast.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. Why would they, if Kane can be anyone, anytime, anywhere, why would they show them all like that? Like freaking, you remember Spawn with all the that was just terrible.
It was really bad.
You talking about the end of season 2?
The latest
Loki?
one of
No, it was the end of season 1 actually.
Oh, so all the
no,
different.
it wasn't.
It was the end of season 2.
Yeah, because
Okay.
season
Because
3?
season 2 they cut it short, didn't they?
No,
Because
I think that
you're right.
Oh,
I
Loki,
think
right?
if,
No, it wasn't either one of them. You know what it was? It was Ant-Man versus the Wasp.
Quantumania was really
Yeah.
bad. All right, so if you're
So-
talking worst
What?
Marvel, yeah, it was really bad.
I wasn't planning on seeing it at all.
The first one and the second one were good, but
You know about the worst horror movies? We've done this before, but let's do it.
Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to go ahead and put Madam Web and
No, Marvel.
is that not Marvel?
Sony. It's not Marvel Studios.
If you're just talking about the Marvel universe, period.
Okay.
I mean, current. I'm gonna go ahead and put the 3 chick flicks in there. So Black Widow, super buns.
Horrible.
The Marvels,
Horrible.
super buns.
No, Marvel's.
Because you like them to stop.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Eternals.
Oh.
Eternals actually got really bad ratings too.
Yeah, but
I
it was
enjoyed
good. It was good.
I enjoyed
enjoyed
In fact, all the people that I watched a bunch of videos of people going back and ranking their movies and looking at Eternals. Like I ranked this really low before, but actually, when I think about it, it's really good because it was good. They just wanted everything else that they've been getting fed the whole.
They thought it was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's what they were thinking.
I like how they did the what was the girl who was really fast?
Oh yeah, she was the.
I felt like they did a really good
Listen.
job capturing her speed on film, like to actually have it. Because when I think about like fast,
Don't you
people,
say it.
I'm not
You
even bringing
know
up
it's
Ezra.
true though.
I'm not bringing him up, but I'm talking about like I mean, just anytime you see somebody running fast, like think about how Twilight was, how they had him on like a little stationary
Terrible.
Twilight
treadmill,
was horrible.
and like it's running, but it's sped up.
Horrible. The Flash
The
was
Flash was
horrible.
really stupid because it was
Yeah.
like, and it was just a stupid looking set.
Yeah,
The
it
way
was,
he
the
just-
stride was stupid.
But
I
they did
don't
it
get
perfect
it.
on-
But
on
Quicksilver,
Eternals.
I don't care what you
Quicksilver
say.
was good.
That most iconic
But what
speedster.
throws me off? Wait, hold on. Because one Quicksilver was Dahmer. What's his name?
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that guy.
Days of Future Past was
He was good. He was good. I agree with that. And even when his slow motion, like that
Mm.
time when he was saving everybody's lives, and
At
moving
the
everything.
mansion,
Yeah,
that was so.
dope.
That was that great.
That,
That scene
so
was so
if
great.
he can move so fast, I'm not gonna get to it. No, but if he can move so fast like that, because it makes me think about other things. Even with the newer Flash, when he had to run up the building and he like fixed the pipe, then he put the baby in the microwave and he was running up and down and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just throws me off because like how fast is the fast? You know, like
No, yeah.
what's your boy A Train? Because
he's not very fast.
He can't like manipulate time with his speed.
Right.
But I've seen him, or we've seen him.
He can't run around the world.
I think he can't, because I just thought about season 3. He was like, he was looking for Starlight and Huey, and he was like, I can clear Lower Manhattan. No, he said, was it just Lower Manhattan or all of Manhattan within like 3 hours? So that's not
Whoa.
very fast.
I can clear Lower Manhattan.
Oh, did he
in
say
3
all of
hours.
New
I was
York?
about to
He may have
say.
said all of New York
All of New York.
in 3 hours.
Yeah,
3 hours though.
that's a long time.
Yeah, that
That's
is a long time.
That's not really fast.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's as fast as a train. That's about it.
Oh, you know what? He had the race with
Yeah, and
What's
what's
the
name
other
lost,
dude?
right?
he won,
'Cause
but
he
he
had-
was on V.
Yeah.
But he's not. I think he said he was like number 11 towards the end when Homelander was like, "All right, you're out of the 7."
What was I gonna say? Oh, The Flash was actually a good movie.
It was, and I told you to watch
You
it.
did a long time ago. You told me to watch it, and I
And I was like, it's not bad because I think the only thing people didn't like the CGI.
well because
1,000 miles per hour, faster than the speed. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I have to watch it though. I haven't seen it yet either.
Seeing what the Flash.
The Flash movie.
People didn't like the CGI.
I
the CGI was
respect
bad.
that you didn't tell me why I would like it so much.
Yeah.
So when I watched it, I was like, I was almost mad. I was like, why would you not tell me this?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm glad you didn't tell me.
Yeah, no,
He was
tell me.
funny.
I'm gonna see it then.
He was
It's
funny.
good.
You know, and we joke about Ezra Miller all the time on here, but you almost forget
He's
why
good.
they put up with so much crap. He's a great actor.
You know
man.
what's funny? You say that, But the stuff that he did compared to what happened with Jonathan Majors, I don't understand why you can't look at Jonathan Majors. I would assume so. Jonathan Majors didn't really do anything. In fact, I think
Ezra Miller the white Jonathan Majors?
No, don't even compare.
Really bad.
Ezra Miller is horrible.
Ezra Miller was smacking women left and right.
This nigga was fighting the Klan in North Carolina. Like, let's not forget.
He killed somebody and then went to their funeral with the chair.
Yeah.
This dude legit was talking about pulling out
He
guns.
was grooming little girls.
Yeah.
Then he switched genders. Then groomed little boys.
This dude,
he's a menace.
This dude was kicked out of somebody's house, went back and said, "You have something in mind." They said, "No, I don't. This is mine." He smacked her and walked in the house. The police came there. He smacked her again.
That's nuts.
He's
That's
crazy.
OJ level.
Yeah, he's a maniac, but he's a great actor.
But
OJ
Jonathan
killed
Majors
somebody and wrote a book about it.
Jonathan Majors, though, he the only thing he was charged with was an aggravated assault, which was just him pushing her off of him when she was trying to.
And I think he like broke
his
her
phone.
nail when he stole her.
Yeah.
When he took his phone back.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Right.
Like all the stuff that we're talking about is just
There's
insane.
a video of it. I mean, legit, the guy got out of the car. She tried to grab him in his phone. He's like, "Get off of me," and ran away from her. But just by him saying, "Get off of me," and ran away.
You got to compile all that information. If you're looking at that and you're saying, all right, he's not the aggressor. He's actually trying to run away. He's getting her off, and he darted up the street. Right then, I'd be like, all right, yeah, he's good. He's not trying to beat her up or nothing like that. But if you say, oh, he damaged her pinky nail or whatever, and this is what we're going to try, like, I don't know. I think that's bull.
But just because of that, Disney's like, we don't want to deal with you anymore.
And lost all that money. That's really good.
Tomlin is underrated. Probably the best coach in the league.
I agree with that.
Yeah, IKEA furniture. I'll tell you who sucks. I ain't gonna talk about it. It's just funny because I always think about Joe Biden when he was like, "You guys want to know, the biggest thing? I'm gonna tell you what it is." I ain't gonna talk about it. You remember that, right? Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious.
Something we were just talking about off pod just a second ago. I want to bring up really quick. Hey, can you play a video? Drag it over and play it really quick. Because I was just thinking about this when we were talking about this. Go down to the bottom, press play.
In about 3 years, holler at me, Miley
Oh,
Cyrus.
yeah.
Don't discriminate, no, not at all. Kick cat a midget, if that ass off, I break a hole. I exchange fee cards with the retards.
How did we let him get away with saying that shit?
I exchanged V cards with the retards is crazy.
There's even more to it that he's saying. But I was just thinking about this. We always talk about this with like older white people, whatever. Are we that generation now that just goes back and back? Oh, it's a different time back then. Because we let stuff go like that when we were younger, and now when people look back, it's like, oh, that was terrible, and we're like, oh, it was a different time. You don't know, you don't understand. You got to be there. Are we that generation that doesn't now?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
We've been out of
No,
school.
it's crazy that's looked at as bad. Like that's comedy. I exchanged V cards with the retard.
That was a guy. You
hilarious.
remember that song? Lil Wayne said he wanted to have sex with Miley Cyrus when she was like 16 at the time. Or whoever it was. I think Wayne said it though, or somebody in that song said it. He was like, "Holla at me when you turn 18." Like that stuff. That's
dirty.
That's the kind
What
of
was we
stuff.
talking about the other day? A show that could not be made in current day.
And from our time?
Yeah.
What would you say, Digimon?
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was fine.
Yeah. It stands out.
Yeah, it's coming. No,
Like
I'm
what?
trying
What
to
was
think
something
of
that he
the worst
did?
thing that he did.
No, we can make
Nah,
crackhead
they'll
jokes and
let
homophobic
that
jokes.
fly. It's in the name of comedy, they'll let that stuff fly.
Smoking crack will always be funny.
Always.
But stuff like that, we were just loud back then, and we didn't think much of it.
I'm trying to think what's so bad that we did in our time. Like that wasn't bad. Like R. Kelly pissed on a 13-year-old, but that was bad. Even in our
We let it fly for so long though. Remember Huey from Boondocks was like, y'all need to get this man some help. Why y'all in the courtyard talking about free R. Kelly? This man needs to go to jail and get some help. Because we let stuff like that fly.
You ever see the videos of him in the prison singing?
Mm.
He still got it. He still got it. He's the king of R&B. I can't think of anything that we've done. I think that this generation is gonna like eat itself.
The new generation.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many issues that they want to talk about all at one time. I feel like they feel like they have to be the savior for themselves. Like they have to. What am I trying to say?
I think where you're getting
they're trying to put all the issues in like one time, and it's like you gotta take your time. Like we fought for black rights, and it took us hundreds of years.
Yeah, I think there's been a switch where it's like instead of saying like, hey, this is unjust, or we shouldn't be saying this thing, or we shouldn't be doing this thing anymore. Instead of like looking at it case by case and understanding the nuance and then figuring out what's going on, it's shutting down everything. And when you try to do that, then you kind of like have no room to do anything at all. And that's why so many people get in trouble for the smallest infraction. People start apologizing for the smallest little thing. And
I would never apologize.
It also creates a culture of being fake, you know? Mm-hmm. Like if you make a video that making a joke about something, someone else will find an issue that you didn't even know about and say, oh, he can't make this joke because blah, blah, blah. It's like, I didn't even know that existed. But guess what? I got to get online and make an apology, act like I really care.
You see the guy, what do you call those little places when you go in and they make the rice in front of you?
India?
No. The Asian restaurants.
Hibachi?
One. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, let's just say hibachi. And the guy's like cooking it up. He's like, you know what kind of beef this is? And then he flips it over and goes, Kobe. And then the lady's like, it's a white lady. She's like, why would you bring the black man into this? And then everyone's like, what? What does that even mean? Like, what's your offense there? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, the joke is it's Kobe beef. And even if it wasn't, it's like, he never said anything bad. And why do you care? You're a white lady. It's just, it's terrible, man. I'm on TikTok so much, and I look at what people say on TikTok and all the comments.
I do that too.
And then I get scared because it's like when I'm out in public, it's like, I wonder what these people think about me. Yeah. Like, if they feel that way on TikTok, like, how do they feel? I don't even speak to people. Like, I'll walk down the hospital where I work. I'll walk down the hospitals, and I'll just look at everybody, and I'm just like, I wonder what they did today before they came here, or what they're gonna do when they get off. It's like, what type of person are they for real?
Yeah. You know what else too? I find myself finding out it's like people will fight for these things, these little micro aggressions, if you will. They
don't care anything about it.
But in their personal life, like you said, they don't care nothing about it.
Yeah, I heard
somebody be like, "Oh, you can't say the F word." Go home and say it like 50,000 times.
Yeah,
it's just
performative.
Like,
it's fake. That's all it is. Yeah, it's fake.
Because you
fake
have
outrage.
Yeah, you have to do it to show that you care. And if you don't do it, guess what? People are going to be in your comments. It's messed up how you're not speaking on blah, blah, blah. Like,
I've done that at restaurants and stuff. Like, if I see the server not wearing gloves or, like, preparing food without gloves or a hairnet, or I see him come from the back, I'm like, you should change your gloves or wash your hands or something. Then it's like, I get home, I take a leak, and I'm like, all right. Go straight to the bag
You know
of
that
chips.
time we went to Hooters, and that one girl, it was cold in there, and that one girl had on a sweatshirt?
No.
You don't remember we was in Hooters, and one girl had on a hoodie, and you said it was empty, and you said it real loud. You was like, man, I could have sworn this place called a Hooters, not Hoodies.
Nah.
And the manager heard you, because when she went back in the back, she came back out. She had on her shirt. She was like, "Can I take your order?" You don't remember that?
I've never
I was thinking,
crazy.
You are a menace.
That's crazy. I thought it was Hooters and not hoodies.
You think I just made that up? That was crazy.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
That's a good one, though.
You was a bad person. Like you've been a bad person for the majority of your life.
I be thinking about that in karma. How it's gonna come back.
Yeah, I think it's came back. I think it's hit you hard enough.
Maybe.
Let's do a lightning round really quick. Let's go through some of this stuff. First things, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Y'all know about that, right?
Hate it.
You hate it?
It's all a cash grab. It's
Not a fan.
ridiculous. It's stupid.
Do you
as
think
hell.
it's gonna?
It's gonna be bad. He might die.
Yeah, at first I thought it was cool, but then I started seeing all the rules and
I
stipulations.
never thought. Without that, Mike Tyson's what, 60? Jake
Wait,
Paul's
who do you
what,
think's gonna
30?
die?
Mike Tyson.
What?
What? Really?
I love Mike Tyson, and I've always gone to bat for Mike Tyson. Like, I think he's one of the best fighters, but The man's 60. Last time we seen him fight was what?
Roy
4
Jones.
years ago. Roy Jones. He looked horrible.
No, he didn't. Roy Jones said it hurt.
Before that, he was doing all the training. You see him like ghost sparring and all this stuff, and you're like, oh man, he looks like he still got it. He still looks good. He's got that power. He's got the quickness, the moves. That's great. You're just performing. I mean, you're going through your drills or whatever, but that has nothing to do with like your actual endurance in the ring and everything. That was 4 years ago, and he looked terrible once he got in the ring with Roy Jones. Like he was gassed, he couldn't do anything. He was clinching up all this stuff. Fast forward 4 years now, and he's fighting Jake Paul, who is a fake fighter. I hate Jake Paul, but still,
You hate everybody.
Everybody,
hate
everything.
everybody.
So okay, so who do you think's gonna win?
he's gonna knock his motherfucking block off.
Control, who do you think's gonna win?
I hope that, you know, the stipulations in the contract that says you have to do this, you can't do this, or whatever. I understand that's the case, but I hope Mike Tyson get in there, and as soon as that bell rings, ding ding, he just sees red, because Mike Tyson is like an animal. He doesn't know how to take the bite out of it. He doesn't know how to bite softly.
I think he knows how to take a bite. I think we can agree he knows how to take a bite. No, he's not.
But I
He's gonna
just
do
see
that.
him going in there as soon as the fight starts. He's just gonna go at him, and Jake is gonna be running around the ring like, this is not the contract. This is not what we signed. And I hope he
I would love to see
Watch
Tyson.
it.
Jake Paul
Going.
might die.
Mike Tyson first round.
Jake Paul might die. He's real, and you said
I
he
would love
looks-
to see it.
You said he looked terrible. I saw that fight. He didn't look terrible. He was fighting against one of the most.
Everybody thought he
elusive-
was gonna bust out there first
Yeah, I'm
round,
making
just
my
all
bet on
this
FanDuel.
aggression, these crazy blows, like just hit him with a haymaker.
What fight
knock
were
him
you
out.
watching? He fought Roy Jones Jr., one of the most elusive fighters of all time.
Maybe for a light heavy, I wouldn't call him the most elusive.
Listen, he fought Roy Jones Jr., and Roy Jones Jr. danced around the ring the entire time because he said he wanted to get Mike Tyson tired, because he know Tyson can still hit hard.
So you think Jake Paul's gonna get knocked out?
I believe so. I hope so.
Headphones.
You know he's 60 years old, right?
Yeah, and he still hit like a 20-year-old. He hit harder than me and you.
Maybe together.
Yeah.
Say all four of your fists.
Yeah. I mean, I would absolutely love to see him knock him out, but I just don't see it happening. At
He has
his
to.
age.
I
Who do
think
you
it
think's
has.
gonna win WrestleMania?
I don't know who's fighting.
Oh.
The Rock.
Do you think The Rock's gonna win?
Sure.
They're actually gonna win no
Good
matter
guess.
Is that who's the main event or whatever?
It's Cody.
what. They'll find a way to make
Cody
it.
I don't
Rhodes
even
and
know who
Roman
Cody
Reigns.
Rhodes. I know who Roman Reigns is. I haven't kept up.
You know
with
who Cody
wrestling.
Rhodes is?
He was throwing a time in
That's
Attitude
Dusty
Era.
Rhodes' son.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I think I've seen clips. Who Roman Reigns?
Yep.
Dang.
You
That's
think
his
he's gonna go to
nephew?
Hollywood?
I thought they were cousins.
He done beat everybody,
They're
so
cousins.
he's gonna leave.
I haven't kept up with anything wrestling related since I was 10 years old.
It's time for Cody to finish his story.
I think the Rock's gonna
Batista
battle
still
Stone Cold.
wrestling?
No,
Batista's not doing.
I
that?
think he do
Nah,
too
he's
much
movies
steroids.
now.
I like Batista as an actor.
You
man.
think you
I
think
really
Batista
do.
does steroids?
Have you seen him?
All these guys. I feel like a lot of people do steroids.
Batista fought in the
Cena does
UFC.
steroids.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you know what's crazy, man? It's always the guys that swear up and down that they don't do it, and they always end up doing it.
The Rock is the biggest steroid.
The
ever.
Rock uses
The
steroids.
Roy.
He uses steroids, and it's, at this point, it's like, what are you hiding it from? Like, he's gonna get caught.
So many people are
See
open
what
about
he
their
look like
steroids.
Vance
before and now
Armstrong does steroids, and it's like I knew he did it, and it's like it's only a matter of time before he gets caught. And it's crazy that people thought he was all natural. I was like,
You see guys
this
at
nigga's
the
on
gym.
Temp V. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
You see guys at the gym and they're like, yeah, you know, I come here 5 times a day or whatever. I'm all natural. I do this, I do that. And this is my peak. Like, this is as big as I'm going to get. And they look great. Then you look at The Rock, who's like 50 and is like 3-4 times their size. He has access to all this. It's like, come on, y'all, be serious. You know he's on steroids.
You know he is.
He's gotten bigger than when he played for the University of Miami.
In his 20s.
And during all the years as a wrestler, when it's all performative, you got to look your best. You got to be as big as you want to be.
Since when do guys start getting bigger
Mm-hmm.
as they get older?
Yeah, but it's even crazier, like Riyadh was saying, is that when you're on WWE, was he on WWF too?
Same thing. Just
I know, but during that time is when you're supposed to be working out the most, looking your best.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you leave there, you get even bigger. It's crazy
It just
that
doesn't
don't
make any
make
sense.
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
what are
Don't
you getting
make
so big
sense.
for?
how do you get bigger if you apparently were doing more working out while you were wrestling.
What was his biggest? Pain and Gain?
No,
Everybody
that's
was
the
big
peak.
in that.
This is his biggest.
You remember him in Pain and Gain?
Yeah, he's bigger now. He's a lot bigger. If you look at you have to look at the side by side. This is the biggest he's ever been.
I think about Walking Tall or The Tooth Fairy. You
He looked
remember?
good. He looked good in those movies, but
He didn't even look fit. He looked skinny.
Oh yeah. No,
In The Tooth Fairy?
Get Shorty. I know. Be Cool.
Be cool, yeah.
He was real skinny in that. He didn't look like a wrestler.
And now look at him. Oh yeah. Please bring this up. Look at this.
Baywatch.
How old is he? He was big in Baywatch too. Nah, listen. Pain and Gain
man.
was his biggest.
That movie that doesn't even look real right there.
I think
Which
that's
one?
an actual action figure.
Yeah, how you know I was talking about that?
That's different.
That's a
person.
painting.
That's CGI. Oh, what is that? The Rock in the Rock?
Wait, is it?
The Rock and the Boulder?
What the heck?
All right, let's see how old he is. How old is he?
He's
67? 62?
58.
I say 57.
Get away from the pictures. 51.
51?
He can look, so you can still be big at 51, but you getting
He was
bigger.
massive. Like he doesn't even have a six pack. How did that happen?
Van
That's got to be CGI.
Van Diesel's older.
Come on, click these images. Let's get these close ups.
Wait, that one up there has got to be CGI. He had an abdominal or something ripped out, and he can't get a six pack anymore on his left side.
I know he had his pecs redone.
Oh, that's
Did
crazy.
he have surgery? Yeah, he had his
Yeah.
pecs redone, but his abs.
What the heck? This nigga look like a centipede. Look at all these abs. Can you have go to the other one? I think
If he has abs,
Go back
the
one, whatever you
CGI
just
is
did.
fake.
You go back. 3 picks.
You good? Oh, there's an X up there.
That one's fake.
the
Like his-
49 one.
that one's fake.
How many?
He doesn't have abs. Is that dad?
It looks
It's
like
you just go to images and bring it up. No, go back to images.
Yeah. You can't move that over. Yeah, that picture's
yeah,
doctored.
that's definitely.
That's how he
Right
really
there.
looks right there. You
AI.
see that one?
All right, click it.
You see that still?
Just zoom
That's
in
fake.
on it. I gotta count these.
1, 2, 3.
It's
4.
49 of them. It says it right there.
49 abs.
Yeah. If that's how he really looks. You see that first picture? That's how his abs really look.
The first picture.
Yeah,
It's the
the
same
one on the
picture.
left.
Look,
Oh,
it's
the
the same
one
picture.
on the left with the. It
Oh,
looks like
yeah,
his
you're
left side is
right.
abs.
Yeah.
But you
Right
still
there,
have
right there,
doctor-
right there.
yeah. He can't
All right, so
get
click
abs.
Rock Pain and Gain because I feel like this was his biggest.
Pain and gain.
Man, I could look at these pictures all day.
Why?
I meant to say that in my head.
Look at his shoulders. Everybody was
Hey,
big
Mark
in that movie
Wahlberg
too.
was that guy too.
I think he's on
God,
the juice too. Yeah,
look
man.
at
Look how
shoulder.
big this fool is.
He looked real black right there.
With the beard.
Yeah.
He normally doesn't have a beard, right?
Yeah, not. All right, let's go to the next thing. What we got?
You can leave those pictures up.
Ree, you said you wanted to talk about Budden and Candace. You can't tell if you like or hate her.
I know I hate her, but it's
Why?
like, cause man, it's like she's extremely intelligent. I'll give her that, and
So
she's
you don't like smart black women?
no, that's not. Whoa, I didn't say that.
Say that.
No, it's impressive how she speaks and how she can debate, and she's so aware of everything. But it's like they put her there to say and point out negativity in black people. Like she doesn't like anything black, really. She said like, white privilege doesn't exist. You guys aren't
See, I hate when
slaves.
she says
Like
stuff like that.
we know that we aren't slaves, and we know that our ancestors were. That's the point. She speaks bad about BLM, and it's like I know the organization was like fraudulent, and they had like a whole bunch of crap that went with it. But it's like what it originally started for, just saying, "Hey, we matter." That's the message that people really want to get out.
But that's not what she was saying. You have to watch her documentary. She was saying how black people stole from that. How it
And
was.
that's another thing. It's like every time she says, she's like, "Oh yeah, I really care about black people, and I do this. You have to watch this. Like you only see the clips, you only see this, and you only see that." And it's like it's way more of that than that. We shouldn't have to dig around and say, "Oh wait, between all of this negativity, she did say." You know, I like my black hair.
I think I'm with Cairo on this part because what she said was that you only see the clips that they put out. Because if you think about it, what you're just saying is literally all the stuff that have been clipped and put out there for you to see, right? Mm-hmm. But who's clipping that stuff and putting it out there? The people who don't like her. But if you go and look at her stuff,
what is she a conservative?
She's extremely conservative.
Yeah,
okay. And she's married to a white guy.
And I don't agree with everything, just like Cairo doesn't agree with everything she says, but. The stuff that she says is like, for example, about
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
she said it was originally meant to say, "Hey, look at us. We want to be seen too. We're people." But it was some greedy.
She said this.
Yeah, but it was some greed. That's what the whole movement was when we first started saying Black Lives Matter. It was like, "Hey, we get
that."
it.
I know.
Right, but then it was some greedy black people who turned into literally an organization that just stole money, and then that's why people don't like it. It's like they don't even care about black people. Like they don't. And she did the whole documentary and she looked into it and she was trying to get answers.
Besides that, I just feel like she's always there. Like she's put in place. Like she has a handler that says, "Hey, we need you to attack this, and we need to talk about the disparages."
Name is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, so I do think that because she's super conservative, she does have a lot of views that a lot of other people have that I don't even agree with. But like for example, the other thing that she was talking about was kind of maybe what you were talking about when you said that she doesn't like anything black or whatever, I think you said, was like, for example, music-wise. She's like, when I was growing up, we had like Lauryn Hill and stuff.
I hate to hear her talk about that because it's like, I feel like she didn't really listen. She's talking about like Jay-Z's Black Album and Whitney Houston. Like, to hear her talk about Whitney Houston is just like, I don't know about that.
But you feel that way, though. That doesn't mean that it's not
and
true.
Then I feel like her going on Joe Budden is like just pandering. Like, let me try and win this black crowd over.
But she was on Breakfast Club too, and DJ Envy does not like her. He said this years,
which is funny because
he said this years ago. He said I don't like her. He said it on there, and so the reason why she's on there now is because they didn't let her on there, but now all of a sudden they open up the door and then she can come on. Budden opens up the door and she can come on. It's not like, oh, I'm staying away from black media. It's just they won't allow me on there, and she's been saying that for years on all of her stuff.
All the MAGA stuff.
Well, probably, but that's the thing is like you have to have everybody have voices. You can't have like all of Kamala and Biden come on there and then not have other people come on, you know, because you're only showing one person's part of the conversation. You have to invite all faces. And so like that's what I'm saying. Like she's saying you're only seeing the clips that they allow you to see. You're not coming to my content and seeing what I actually said.
I go look for, because what was it, the K-Pat speech or something?
I don't know.
She was talking about the LGBTQ. I don't remember the other letters, but
don't look at me. I don't know.
I know they added some more in there recently, but anyway, and I agree with her stance on that because it's like if you want to identify as whatever it is that you want to identify as, like I can be respectful enough to be like, all right, cool, but I feel like this is about to get bad. Like if I should even say it, I don't know. Me personally, I feel like it's only two genders, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
I think she said like you can identify whatever you want to identify. That's fine. Just don't
make me the crazy one for not.
Yeah. Also, I think her thing too is like with my kids, which I think her big deal is the whole like children things. Like no matter what topic she talks about, it's like even the music, for example. She said like I do agree that she gets too far into stuff, but when she says things like my kids are going to grow up and this is the music that is being pushed in front of them, like Sexy Red.
I hate Sexy Red.
She hates her too.
Really?
But she said like this is the music that's being pushed in front of our kids all the time. But like she said, when I was growing up, it was like Lauryn Hill. When did the switch happen? And how come we can't look for artists? There's still artists like J. Cole and Lauryn Hill. She talked about that.
She was like somewhere around 2007 with the slut walk of Kim Kardashian and not Kim, Amber Rose.
Okay.
And she was like, before the professionalism as as a prostitute or a whore was like shamed upon, and women did it in secrecy, and it wasn't something you was proud of. But then like it was like a movement or a shift to where people are like, oh yeah, I'm a trick for this money, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then it's like, I think somebody said something about Kim Kardashian doing the slut walk, and like all these other hoes and stuff jumped on Kim Kardashian's side, Amber Rose's side, and was like, forget you or whatever. And it was like a pure, innocent, I think it may have been like a kid or something. I can't remember who it was. But she's like, yeah, I hate that. And, that's not cool. It shouldn't be this way at all. And then, of course, now you look at people like all the city girls is talking about scamming and getting over on men, and they just want to dance. And like, I hate the new generation of music. All the new women rappers are just trash.
There's Candace Owens went on a podcast called Whatever Podcast, and she was
Who hosts that?
I don't know this guy. I don't know
those white guys.
Yeah, I don't know his name or anything, but she was on there talking to a girl, and they were kind of going back and forth about the whole like OnlyFans stuff and everything.
I remember that.
And she was like, I'm gonna pray for you. Like, I hope you change your life, basically, right?
She destroyed that. Like, she killed. It was like 4 whores up there, and she was like, just every time they would say something, she was like shutting it down. And that's always been impressive to me. Like, your ability to speak and everything. Like, I love that. I give her high praise.
The world we live in now,
so what do you not like about
hold on, wait. The world we live in now, though, is that people will look at those videos and clip it and say, Candace Owens is a terrible person. She is anti-feminism, anti-women and stuff like that because she won't allow them to have OnlyFans and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that happens.
I think you got to watch it in whole, though.
That's what but you just said that I shouldn't have to go to your stuff and watch it.
Literally.
Right, but I mean, if the main clips are out there where it's like you see something and then you're watching 25 minutes of it or so, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's bashing the black community, talking about how there is no systemic racism, there is no there's no injustice going on, and black people need to do this for themselves and everything. And it's like, we all know that because of our history, this is why we're at where we're at today, and we have to dig ourselves up from a hole. And it's like, why is she just throwing out all this stuff about how we're marginalized and how we're lower income? And it's like, we know the facts, sis. Like, you don't have to get up here in this room full of white people and just bash us black people. Like, you're not helping us. You have that voice, you have that platform. Lift us up instead of just always bringing up negativity about us. And it's just, that's what I see.
I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, because I do think she does that sometimes. Like, all the stuff she said about George Floyd, I wasn't happy with, because she talked bad about him.
Floyd stuff. Jeez.
And I don't even like the way she talked about George Floyd. But
and Kaepernick too. She absolutely hated the whole kneeling thing.
But the thing that you're talking right now is the same thing that we do all the time when we complain about people shooting up clubs and things like that. Like, I think I saw a video that was like, white clubs, it's like people having fun. Black clubs, shootouts. It's like that kind of thing is normal, but we say that's black culture. Why is having a shootout at a club part of black culture? That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be black people. Like, I don't like that we can say, oh, going to a black club is dangerous. Or I don't like saying, like, I don't like hearing people talk about going to a neighborhood that's dangerous and it's only black people. I don't like that, because I'm black, and I want to know that when I'm being presented as a black person, I don't look like I'm dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I hate it when we associate what's black as all this bad stuff, like not getting married, sleeping around,
not taking care of your kids,
having a gun on you and just shooting something, like that
doing
stuff.
Drugs.
I hate that.
Up.
Because you're telling me that if I don't conform to selling drugs, sleeping around, having ops and all this other stuff, that I'm not black. And I don't like that. Because you're telling me that being black means you gotta be a terrible human being. And so when she says stuff like, why is this music being promoted and this music is telling our kids how they can be black, I see a problem with that too.
I see a problem with that too.
Do you though?
Absolutely. I don't. Come on, man.
So what do you have against Candace Owens?
I don't know. Maybe I need to watch more of her stuff.
All right. So you're gonna vote Trump?
Because from what you,
some reason we bought you today. Got to be.
No, but
Nah,
like I said, before we even started the discussion, I said I don't know if I like her, if I hate her,
Yeah.
because I'll be on the fence. Sometimes I'll see stuff and I'm like, yeah,
I'm with you, though.
I'm proud of that. And then sometimes I'm like, bitch.
like J. Cole. But no, I agree because like I said, there are things she says I'm like, nope, you're going too far, and then there are things I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I believe. But then do you hear things like what she said about T.I.? She's like, me and T.I. had a conversation before the show.
That was, I think, Killer Mike was the narrator, and she was giving like high praise to Killer Mike, and I fuck with Killer Mike, so I'm like, all right, she's in tune, but I don't know. I feel like she's gone through stages because like when she first started
I believe
out,
that too.
She was one thing, and then it's
because
like,
what happened is you can become hyper conservative and then you can come back, or you can become hyper liberal and then you can come back.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what happened at first. She went way too far because she used to be liberal. And
Look
then
at Rob Schneider.
And then what happened is,
the actor.
Yeah. Have you
All
not?
right, no, let's not even get on that.
So she was liberal before, and then eventually she became conservative. And what happens is you swing too far. You go crazy. You start like wearing MAGA hats and everything, and then you come back a little bit and say, okay, let me not promote some of that stuff. I think that's kind of what has happened with her. But with the T.I. thing, she said that she was talking to T.I. backstage. She was like, we were cool. We even talked about a lot of things.
I remember
she
that.
said we agreed on a lot of things, and T.I.'s way more conservative than people think he is. And then as soon as we got on stage,
he just went crazy.
He started
like he couldn't say, she couldn't say anything, and she's just like, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
She said she was
like,
blindsided. She was like, "Where is this coming from? I don't even know how to respond."
How often do you think that happens?
I believe it happens all
one
the
way
time.
backstage.
Like you said, it's performative. I think it happens all the time.
It happens, dude.
There's a lot of guys in
you see
Hollywood.
it in interviews, and they're like, "Wait," like they kind of pull themselves like, "We said we wasn't going to talk about this or something like that," but they just want to get those clicks or whatever. They just want that. What is it, shock culture or
shock value?
Yeah,
There's a lot of people, man. I see it all the time with guys like. Dang, I was about to say that. I don't even know why I was gonna say names. there's guys I work with. They'll be like, "Yeah, you know, women this. If we gotta protect our queens," and I'm like, don't you got 6 kids by 6 different women? Like, you're the problem. You don't understand that? Like, you're the problem. They don't want you taking up to them. They want you to do right. Stop saying something. Your words mean nothing. Actions mean words.
Yeah, you got to think about, too, the culture of celebrity status, too. Like, when I talk about celebrities, I'm talking about, like, whether you're a politician, you're a movie star, music artist, any of that stuff. Even if you're, like, on the news or whatever, it doesn't matter, podcast or whatever, you have people who pay your bills. And so if they don't, if you have people that pay your bills, you have to cater to them. And when you cater to them, you cater to whatever they say goes. So for example, we were just talking about John Cena. John Cena was in, well, I think there's a movie he was in a few years ago, and he said something about mentioning Taiwan as a country, or and then but
I remember.
But China is like, no, that's part of China. But because that movie's been sold in China, China is a big part of that market. So he had to come and apologize in Chinese, in Mandarin, and say, oh, I'm sorry for saying that Taiwan is a part of China, whatever, right? But does he believe that, or does he believe what he said the first time? It's all performative because you have to sell yourself. You have to be able to pay your bills, and those people pay your bills. Yep. So that happens all the time. Example. This is why we were talking about last time, is that crony capitalism happens because you end up getting bed with the wrong people, and then they say, hey, you like the money we're giving you, right? Well, if you like that money, say this, do that, affirm this group, or lean left or lean right, and that happens all the time.
Lean back.
And I can't stand it that happens, but that's what happens. That's why it's hard. That's why, like, people who get on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook and stuff like that, they get locked in this echo chamber because
that's all it is.
They get locked in this echo chamber because these people don't believe the things that they're saying. They're just trying to make a check.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. You know, I be watching that stuff all the time on TikTok. I remember like waking up, and because where I work, I had my headphones in, and it was like this group chat. And it was talking about like black men and stuff. And it was a woman in charge. And she had like 4 black guys on the panel, like 4 women. And then a woman talks, a black guy talks. And they just bash the black guy. No matter what, they bash him. But then he starts getting like, you know, like real belligerent. And he starts talking back. Then they kick him off. Then it's like down to 3 black guys. The next guy comes over, he's like, man, I don't know about that last guy, so I'm gonna try and be a little more calm. They start disagreeing with him, kick him off. By the last guy, he's like, hey, I just want to come in here and say I agree with everything you say. And they're like, oh, it's always somebody who thinks that he's better than the rest of the men. Kick him off. Then they kick him off. And then it's like, by the end of the day, it was just a bunch of black women just talking trash. And I'm like, y'all are all in an echo chamber. Like, who are y'all competing with at this point?
You just disagreed on
Yeah.
every possible thing. So say, what do you agree on?
They all just argue with each other now. And it's like, do y'all understand what just happened? So it's bad, man. I'm glad I'm not like in that age range, man. I feel sorry for like kids growing up.
Yeah,
that are gonna be.
I think it's gonna be really hard for kids.
It's gonna be so hard because
unless they have parents to talk to them, because it's easy to get online and see things and get locked in. But if you're having conversations with your kids, and then like for example, me and my, I can't say for example, but what you can do is have conversations with your kids, teach them how to learn. Because the problem is kids will consume a lot of information, and when they consume that information, they start believing all of it or living it out. And you have to teach them, hey, this is how you learn. This isn't real. This isn't real. This is real. This is how you find more information. And the problem is, if you don't do that, then you just let your kid.
Do you think that is a sign of intelligence, like emotional intelligence, that if a child grows up and they know right from wrong, that it's easier for them to learn it? Or like you think a kid who's just unintelligent could never really get to that level where they can learn, and they're just supposed to be like a sheep, they're just gonna go with society?
I think it's intelligence. I think it's awareness, just being able to be aware of even your own bias. Like if you look at yourself and say like
that self-awareness, but don't you think that's a sign of intelligence?
I think it is intelligence, because if you have 2 kids and one of them's like, all right, I can understand what I just said here was wrong. Let me adapt to this and learn and figure out why I'm not going to do it. Then you have one person who's just going to be like, I'm wrong. I don't know why I'm wrong. I'm just going to be wrong tomorrow. Or the person that
says, I'm not wrong. I'm right.
Yeah. Or the person that says, I'm wrong, but I don't care.
That's really dangerous.
I see that a lot.
That's a terrorist.
Yeah.
That's
a really dangerous one.
And children or grown people?
Yeah, have you, like for example,
Jesus Christ.
When I think when Jonathan Majors was going through his stuff, a whole bunch of black women were like, "Oh, this is why we can't trust black men or something," and they were just saying like, "Okay." And then when the information came out about him, it was like, "So it doesn't matter. He's still wrong."
Oh my God, man!
What happened? Yeah. That happens a lot.
Yeah, people. It's not as bad as just with a child, because a child can be like, "No, I want to go. I want to stay up all night and play the game." And be tired the next day, and that's the final thing. And then like once they get a little older, it's like, man, I've got to get to my bedtime, so that I can function the next day on my 7 hours of sleep. You learn. So as an adult, you don't learn from it.
I mean, I know you. I know that you're mentally I know that you're intelligent, but it's like you can look back on the things that you've done, and if someone says, hey, you're wrong about that. I mean, it's just pointless having this conversation because I know you personally. Mm-hmm. It's like you call me out on stuff all the time, and it's like, yeah, I was wrong, or that was done with me, or
that's part of being mature too.
I think it's intelligence.
I just did it with the Candace Owens things because I was coming into it like, no, I'm not listening. Then I'm like, I heard you out, and I heard you out, and I'm like, all right, I'll listen to more.
I think
9 out of 10 people aren't like that.
Yeah, I do believe that.
That's dangerous.
But again, I think part of that comes from parenting too, though. Because even if you can teach your kid, like I think the intelligence. Of course, you have like people who are just super low IQ, but even them, I think you can at least encourage a type of personality to where you can look at situations and reflect. For example, Caden just got in trouble. My son just got in trouble with something last weekend.
Oh, what'd he do?
I left the house. And I said no games, right? And I come home, the TV's on. I was like, why is TV on? He said, oh, I was trying to do this. I'm not stupid. I looked and saw the last time he was on the game.
Isn't that crazy? And
I was like, Caden, what'd I tell you about lying to me? He said, what are you talking about? I was like, Caden, you lied to me about being on the game. He said, no, Daddy, I didn't. I was like, Caden, look at me. I know you lied. There's no need to keep going. And he's like, okay. And then now he can't watch TV, play games, do anything. All he can do is just come home and do it.
How did he accept that punishment?
He accepted humbly. And now he comes in my room. He was like, Daddy, am I allowed to do this? I was like, nope. And he was just like, okay. And then go do it. Because he understands, like, I messed up. I have to suffer the consequences. And that means if it's a long consequence, I messed up. If it's short consequence, I messed up. I know that I messed up. It doesn't matter what the consequence is. I shouldn't have done the deed in the first place. But that comes from parenting. Like, you don't You don't just learn that out of the blue. You learn from that, from mistakes, trial and error, from parent and from your parents.
Okay, so
Hold on.
so
How long has he been on punishment now?
Now it's been like a week. It's just been a week.
he was on
How
the
long
game
you gonna
last
let it
night.
go?
I don't know. I have to see. I
We were
want
just
to
playing
look.
Call of Duty last night.
I gotta look through, see how he's been acting.
I'll take FaceTime right now. See what he's doing. Hey,
You
I'm
can't
playing the
FaceTime.
game.
Soon as he gets to the phone, he's like, "What
The
up, man?"
iPads you know about. Because we used to have backup. We used to have like backup
Oh,
plans.
how all mine's come
My
home
mom
and
used to take the.
feel how warm it was. We had to put it in the refrigerator.
She would take the power cord or the video cord.
We
But
go to
even
Waffle
then,
House.
that's another
Go
thing
to
too. Like,
Walmart.
I allow my son to.
Yeah,
I
know
wouldn't
what
say
you're
I
about to
allow him. It's just more of like, I know you've done things, and I'm not gonna always call you out on it because it feels like I'm a helicopter parent, always being on your back about something. But I do understand that sometimes he stayed out longer than he should have. Stayed outside longer than he should have. He was on the game a little bit longer than he should have. You know, he did this when he probably shouldn't have. And I allow some of that stuff to slide.
But do you still call him out and be like, "Hey, I saw that. I see what you're doing."
No, I mean, if it keeps going, if it's a prolonged period, if it keeps going, then I'm like, hey, Kaden, you know you've been doing this for this amount of time. You know you shouldn't be doing it. But I don't always do that because I want him also to have freedom to make his own choices. Because, like, for example, we go to church Sunday mornings. He knows he goes to bed at 11 on Saturday. He stays up to 1 o'clock. I'm not going to say anything. But guess what? He's getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. And he's going to feel it. And guess what? He don't stay up too late all the time on Saturdays. Because he understands that these are the consequences. This is what happens.
I was just reading something else, and they were saying the same thing. They was like, you should give your kids more freedom so they can learn without, them feeling like you were there to always say something. My mom was telling me something, and I always how I'm like, hey, I'm an old man. Like, I don't need you to teach me how to do everything. And I know you're my mother. You feel that way, but it's like, if I'm out here cutting something, or if you tell me to go chop some wood or something like that, I don't need you to come out there and tell me to lift with my legs. Like, I'm an adult. I don't need you to tell me these things. If I'm doing something wrong and I'm going to feel the consequences, I'm okay. I'm an adult. I'll learn my lesson.
Yeah, and I understand that. Like, we got to get out of here. But
let me ask you one last question.
Go ahead.
So with that being said, because I was saying this intelligence, you're saying this parenting. Do you think that dumb people should be allowed to procreate?
yeah, I don't think it passes down like that. Just because you're dumb doesn't mean all your kids are going to be dumb.
More than likely it does.
Not usually.
Yeah,
I
intelligence.
know some
is
dumb
genetic.
people with dumb kids.
Yeah,
and had
that's
dumb
true,
parents.
but
I don't know
think that always
any. I don't know
happens.
any smart kid with dumb parents.
None at all.
A smart kid.
I mean,
with
I can
dumb
Do you
parents.
think I don't mean like intelligence as far as culture. Like, do you think that would you consider your parents to be dumb? That's a harsh word, but do you think your parents are like not smart?
No, I think. They're
And I know
smart
your
in their-
parents,
in their
and it's
different
funny.
areas.
And I may make jokes, but I don't think your parents are like. I think that you're just fine. I think that you're smart, but I think you're just as smart as you should be.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I just don't. I don't. You don't. I can give you some names of some people who have some dumb parents, but they're not
Do it.
dumb. I'm not gonna do it on.
So
Oh, okay.
we wouldn't know them anyway. So you think that? So you know people who are not smart, and then you look at their parents, and you're like, man, that's crazy. Their parents were so smart. How did this kid grow up to be an idiot?
No, because you also have it the other way. Like you have smart parents and dumb kids.
I could understand a smart kid with dumb parents because they could just take a different way in life, and maybe we perceive those parents as being dumb because of some of the things that they've gone through. But like with our parents, for instance, I don't compare them to us. I compare them to what I think that their peers would have been like. Like I imagine Dad in school, and I think that Dad would have been, the smarter guy in school, right? You can agree with that, even though you hate him. And even Mom, even though we give her a hard time, it's like I would imagine that when Mom was in school, she was probably the nerd, or she was probably one of the smarter people in school, right? I mean, look at her compared to all of our friends' parents.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, but think about this. Think about our mom compared to all of our friends' mom.
Oh, absolutely. Stands out. Cream
So
of the
that's what I'm
crop.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. No offense. I'm just saying, but
No, not our friends.
Anyone
I'm
that
looking
we've
at
gone
it
to school
like,
with, anyone our age. Like look, when we go,
I'm thinking about her friends that she.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when we're in the store, and then like people come up, oh girl, we went to school together. It's like, oh, where'd your teeth go to school? What school did they go to?
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I mean. It's like I agree with you. It's parenting, but I also think it's the chicken and the egg. I think that if you have intelligent parents, then that emotional intelligence like translates.
So what happens when you have the really smart parents that have dumb kids? Like what went wrong?
I don't know how that happens.
You think it's just that one genetics pool?
No, I don't think it's a genetic thing. I think it's something that happens in life. Like
I don't think the parents will fail the children in teaching them and guiding them through life. Yeah. So it has to be something on the kid's fault.
Exactly. Yeah. Or if you see parents that are just like really bad, then it's probably like if the dad got locked up or got killed or something, shot, hit by a car, and it's like, well, he wasn't dumb. He just did crack. He was probably really, really smart and then got around the wrong people.
Yeah, but also, like Rio was saying, I think you can have smart parents and then the kids just, for whatever reason, just go left. Like, sometimes you always have that.
Remember that one friend who got lost?
Yeah.
From smoking?
Lost?
Lost in the sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Such a great, charming guy.
I thought you were talking about the one. I thought you were talking about the one that, like, went to the hospital and called his mama and was like, come pick me up from the hospital. He got out of the car and started running around and ran to the hospital.
Shut up. Yeah, I was like, no, we're not talking about that guy. that guy turned things around.
I don't know. The second time he thought he was going to die laying in his bed.
The third time he thought he was going to drown in the shower.
He was lost for a little bit, but he ended up turning things around greatly. I'm talking about the other one who never recovered.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you can have smart parents and still your kids will go astray somehow. And I think you can be dumb parents and your kids can still be smart because they can pick it up from the world around them. They can, we get older.
Rare? I think that's rare. That
I don't think it's super rare because we get older. We look at our parents and we can see their faults. Yeah, and I think kids can get older and be like, oh yeah, my parents are dumb. They don't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
And get that information from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't think because we have dumb parents, that means your kids are gonna be dumb. I think it's just life makes you who you are.